Hi, welcome back. Today's lesson is going to be a bit of a fun one. We're going to do a technology lesson about how to make your own website. Now, there are lots of website making programs out there, but the one we're going to choose is one that's already in our student portal, so it's going to make it a lot easier. So the one we're going to choose is a thing called Google Sites. Okay, so Google Sites is in every single person's student portal. So when you log into your computer up in Google and you see up in the corner they have those little dots up in the corner. If you click on those, you'll see down here that purpley one is called Google Sites. Now what Google Sites will do, if you press on it, is it'll open up, looks like your Google Slides or your Google Docs or one of those things, exactly like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to press the plus sign to make a new website. Now I know we're not really at a position where we've learned enough this term to make our own website about a particular topic, but what we're going to do is going to try to create the pages and the buttons to make a website, and as we learn more information we're going to add to it. So the one we're going to make it on is basically one about the solar system. Okay, so we haven't really done a lot yet about the solar system, so as we learn more we'll add to it. Okay, but we can still learn how to make a website in the meantime. So when you get here, it's pretty simple. Basically you can see at the top that's where your title will be, and then you can see you could paste all of your different information down here. And over here is like what I'd call it, like your work area. That's where all of your, I guess, buttons and features are going to come from. Okay, so the first thing I might do is I might actually call my website something. So I'm just going to call it Solar System, like that. Enter site name. I don't really want to do that yet, so let's leave that. Okay, in my solar system page, I might have a different, let's just start off with pages. Let's make some extra pages. You know when you're on a website and you can see different links to different parts of the website? Well, that's what we're going to do. And within the solar system, there's lots of planets. So let's just make pages for all of the planets right now. So you can see up in the top corner, just under publish, there is a thing called pages. And you can see right now we only have a home page. Okay, so I'm going to move my picture for a second so we can see this a little bit better. There we go. All right, now under here you can see there's a plus sign. When you press the plus sign, it's going to ask you to add a new page. So you might call the first one Mercury. And you can see up in the corner here, now there's a page for Mercury. And if we go through and add a few more, we could have a different page for each of our planets. So then when we find more about them, we can add to them. All right. Sorry, nearly done. Okay, Neptune. Oops. All right. They should be moved around, so I can just drag this up and move it in the other place. Okay, so now you can see up here you've got all those pages, and if you're going to click on them it would take you to each of those pages. Now those pages don't have any information right now, so we're going to have to add to them as we go on. But let's go back to the home page. When you get back to the home page, there's a few things that we don't particularly like yet. At the moment, I think it's pretty boring. I think that the text could be a little bit different, and I think the background doesn't really suit the solar system. So what we might do firstly is we might go across, instead of pages, we're going to go across to themes. And you can see here, there's different types of themed websites that they've already made. So we're going to just kind of try them out. We'll see how we go. Okay, I don't mind it. We're just going to keep going through. I actually quite like that one. You're just going to try a few of them out. And when you get to one, don't worry about the background because we can change the background image. We're just kind of looking for the style at the moment. Okay, I liked this one, but no, wait, was it this? I can't remember now. Let's just go this one. Okay, but even within that style, you can change the colors so that the colors within the whole, all the buttons will be a particular color. So let's say if I'm happy with that. I mean, actually look pretty boring. Let's go with something a bit more interesting. Okay, let's just pick this one for now. All right, I'm going to pick the green one with solar system. Okay, so now I could change the background image of the main, it's called a header, okay? So that header type here, you could have it so it's like that. Let's try it like that. But actually, you know what? I'll leave it like this. Now when you want to change it, you press change image. And you can press upload or select image. Select image would make you choose from I guess it would make you choose from your Google. So it would have like a selection of images to choose from that you could choose that would be really, really useful. Like that one would be perfect. If you've already found your found a perfect image on Google, what you could do is you could just save it to your Google Drive or to your computer, and then you press upload. And when you press upload and you click on it, you can see that now it's starting to become a little bit more about your sort of theme that you're doing. So now we've got to think what's, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't particularly like the fact that the name, the solar system word covers up some of the planets, but that's okay for now. All right, let me move myself, oh no, I'll leave myself over here. So I'm just trying to get rid of that. Okay, so now we've come up with a header and we've come up with the pages, but you'll see as we go to the different pages, the other pages, each of their banners needs to be changed as well, okay? All right, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move over here. I might even make myself a little bit smaller. No, I can't do that. Okay, let's try to put myself up the top. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna insert some other things, okay? So you can see here's a layout. How is the layout of your website going to look? You could have different things like this. It's completely up to you how you do it. If you don't want them, you just go to the bin and you can delete all those sort of things. Well, let's start with the text box. Let's start with, if you're going to explain your website, you press text box here and you can start typing. Now, if it's going to be a header, like a heading, for which you would need to have, you would go through and write title or heading. Okay, so let's say I write title and you write, what is this website about? Or maybe we just write solar system, right? And we'll give a quick explanation of the solar system. Now, if you weren't happy with that text, you could change it by writing down here what type of font you wanted instead, right? Sorry. Let's press that, press fonts, and press Arial. Now it doesn't change. Now that's a really big thing why it doesn't change. The reason why it doesn't change is because you haven't selected the text. Once you've written it, it will not change unless it's selected. So you have to select the text, then you can change the font. Okay, so then you can go through and say, don't use Comic Sans. I hate Comic Sans. Anyway, if you wanted that one, which sure, and whilst it's highlighted, then you can change the size of it, bigger or smaller, however you want it, and that's when you can sort of italics or underline. And also this button here, if you don't know this button through Word, that one in the middle which says center it, which quite often I think if you were doing a heading would look better if you're doing that. Now you wouldn't then type all your information underneath that, you would add another text box underneath that, and that's where you type your information. And it says like normal text. All right, so that's where you could type in the solar system is whatever you want to write. Right. It's not so much about the information yet, it's just about setting out your page. Now once again, if you thought that was then too small, you could then highlight it and change the size, and I'm pretty sure you can change the color. Yep, that A, if you wanted the A, you could then press the color. I know that some of you love changing colors around, but you've got to make sure that the colors actually work for what you're doing. If you choose like a really intense blue all the time, to me it's really hard to read. Unless you're going to change the background so it's not white, that sort of color, as much as you might like it, doesn't actually help the person who's reading it. Okay, let's try something else. You could add in images. So if you pressed images and pressed upload, once again, you could upload them from a website, or you could select one that's already there. The ones that are already inbuilt in the system probably aren't already, like they're probably not the best things. You could also add in, let's say I wanted to add in something from my drive. Okay, if I had a photo in my drive, I could click on my drive and find a photo that I'd saved in there and just add that. You can also add in Google Docs, things like that. Okay, so I think I have one photo in there that I've added in. This one, if I clicked on that and then pressed insert, it will come in like this. Now, you'll see there's buttons here which says crop, uncrop, and link. If you wanted to link that to a website, we can get to that later, but if you wanted to drag it bigger, you just grab the corner of it and you just extend it. So you grab the corner and you drag it and it gets bigger. Okay, you could also then add in YouTube clips. So if you add it in, if you press YouTube, as long as you know what the video you're looking for is. So if you knew the video is called Solar System Kids, I don't want you just adding in random videos from YouTube. You've got to make sure that it's the video you want, and you've got to have watched it, because otherwise you have no idea what you're adding in. But if you press select, now you've got a video embedded into, that's the word we use, embedded into your website, and you can just play it from there. You might wonder why these links don't work at the moment. They won't work till it's published, okay? But I guarantee it will work. If you are worried about it, up in the corner you can see it says preview. If you press preview, it will take you through to what would your website look like right now if it was published. It doesn't have to be published yet, but what would it look like? And then if you go down and you press play, you'll be able to see the website work. But it will never work. Sorry, it will never work in your actual website unless you've published it or unless you're previewing it. Okay, you can see there's a whole bunch of different things that we can add to it. You can add in embedding code. So what that would be, an embedding code would be, if you wanted to have a link to a website, you could paste the website into it, and then when you click on it, it takes you to that website. I'll explain to you in a sec. Let's do that now. Let's press embed. All right, and I found a website that I thought was useful, and as I paste that in, you can see it's come up there with what the website is, and I pressed. So you could do that to like other kids in your class. You could have a page, like a page at the top that says other websites about solar system, and then you just paste the link of all your other friends' websites in there, and then when someone comes in, so I'll go back to preview now, and if I go down to preview and find that link and I click on it, it will take me through to the website that I linked it to. Okay, so it's called a hyperlink, but it's linking it to them, is linked there now. Let me go back to where we were.